Hi, my name is Kendall Benz. I'm 32 years old. I feel like I need to say that. I'm gonna give y'all a second to sink that in. Okay, because I sure know I don't look like it. It freaks me out too. Like when I'm making this video, I'm like, how are you 32? Okay, sorry. But anyways, I was a teacher in Houston ISD. I taught, it's actually kind of cool. I started out as a substitute teacher in the 2019-2020 school year. I was a day-to-day sub in the fall of 2019. And then in January of 2020, I got hired on at the school I worked at the whole time in Houston ISD called Askew Elementary. I took over for a fourth grade math teacher, and I got to do that both pre and during COVID. We all just switched to virtual during that time. And then I was trying to take my certification test, right? But it kept getting canceled, as y'all can imagine. So I'm trying to take it in 2020, and then finally in June of 2020, the testing center's open. They let me take it, and I was able to get a certified job at Askew Elementary. I taught second grade ESL for 2 years, and then I taught first grade ESL overflow. So what that means is I wasn't the ESL teacher of record, but since I was ESL certified, when that teacher's numbers got too high, if there were ESL students, then I would get those students because I was certified in ESL. So that it's been pretty cool to be able to do that and experience that. I want to be a school counselor. Honestly, I've wanted to be a counselor since I was 14, so like 2006. See, I'm really 32. And 'cause I just think mental health is so important, is so, so important. Then I really realized the school counseling route was the best fit because because I've always wanted to work with children. And that area in schools, that's what the population is children. And sometimes, as we've learned in our textbook and other stuff, that's the only way some of these kids even get their first access or taste of what a counselor is and what counseling is and how it can benefit them in their lives. So that's definitely why I chose the school counseling route. In fact, I was actually pursuing it at Texas State, but then I learned about the teaching requirements and I was like, well, I'm born and raised in Houston. I want to go back, and I'll just go and get my teaching years in, and then we'll go from there. And the plan ended up, fate took me to here. So I'm really, really excited to finally do what I feel like I was put on this planet to do. So the quote I chose, they were all, really, really good. There were things that, I could see utilizing in my practice, if I guess we can call it a practice, at my school that I'll work at. I should also add, I plan on substituting at um, Fort Bend ISD over while I'm in this program to hopefully, get an internship there. So the quote I chose is, "We all have a few failures under our belt. It's what makes us ready for success." That quote, I think, is so, so important. And when I saw that one, I was like, that's the one I want to talk about. Because school, I feel like, especially, like when I see this, I think about handing a kid a paper with a failing grade, and that's that. You fail, and they feel really bad, and then they know when they go home they're gonna get yelled at, and that breaks my heart. I don't think that is a obviously not a positive way and not an effective way um, to benefit kids. As a school counselor, I don't want these kids to get a bad grade and feel like they're a failure. I know that that's still how I feel. In fact, for this class, I took a quiz. I didn't fail it, but I didn't do as well as I wanted to do. And I thought of this quote because I was like, oh my goodness, a lot of the stuff that I'm feeling, I learned back when I was in elementary school because, that's where your brain is, so malleable and formative. Those are the formative years. And so these adults, like us as counselors, when we were teachers or our teachers, like sometimes we're the most important adults in these kids' lives. I worked at a Title I school, just like our text, or maybe it was multicultural textbook. One of them said, Some of these parents, they don't have exposure to counseling until they're in the school. They don't know what it is. They're not familiar with it. They're not familiar with, what are you going to do? What is your role? And so I really want to be able to break that down. And so not only the kids feel that it's a safe space, but the parents feel that it's a safe space. And also, with the failures, you can teach that to the parents too, that hey, if all you do is get mad at them when they fail, then they're probably going to do what little Kendall did, is crumble up the F's in the backpack and hide them. And I mean, well, nowadays things are online, so I don't know what these kids are doing. But at the end of the day, like, you don't, like, I was scared. And I saw it in my kids' faces too when they would fail. So, some of them wouldn't be scared, but some would. And the main thing I always taught my kids, I don't care what grade you get. I don't care if you fail, because what I care about is that you try your best. And I said everyone's best is different. I'm making up names here. Billy's best might be an A. Susie's best might be a D. And you know what? If Susie gets that D and worked really, really hard for that, then I'm proud of her for that. So, and again, if we don't fail, we won't succeed, and we won't appreciate the success, and we won't know what it takes to get to that success. So instead of failure as being seen as something that, is a negative, seeing it as something that is an opportunity for growth, that growth mindset that hopefully we've all been taught about, to not have a fixed mindset, but that growth mindset where, how can I improve? What can I do better next time? That's what I do want to do with my clients when they make a mistake, or the students when they make a mistake, is not, oh, well, let's call your parents, and oh, you're getting yelled at. Okay. It's like, no, 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 no. We need this, and let's see what we can do so that you can do better on the test, so that you can do better in your relationships, so that you can do better in whatever it is that you failed at. Because again, failures are building blocks, and that's what we should be teaching kids. I want to go into these classes and teach, not just the kids that are coming in crying, but the kids that are maybe like me, sitting there and just thinking F's are like bad, bad, bad. I got an F, I'm bad. I failed, I'm bad. Instead of teaching them, hey, no, that's not what this is about. It's about learning. All of us have made an F at some point in my life. I don't care who you are. Some of us we've all failed. We've all failed. Whether it be school, life, relationships, you're going to fail. But if you give up, that's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies, that fixed mindset. We need to give them that growth mindset so that these kids can, say, hey, wow, this test wasn't good. Or, hey, maybe I shouldn't have pushed my friend. But, what can I do next time? Okay, I can talk it out with my friend and say, hey, when you took that swing from me, it really made me angry, as opposed to pushing them. If I failed a test, I could say, okay, what did I do wrong? Like, I can talk to, depending on the grade level, of course, I can talk to the teacher, I can talk to my parents, I can study more if I didn't study. There's, so many ways to grow. And I feel like as a counselor, especially in a school setting, I want every child that comes into my office to not only come out better than they left, and every child that not only if they come into my office, but if I go to them in their classroom, that they come out understanding that some of these things that unfortunately our society has deemed as negative can have a positive impact. We just got to reframe that brain, and I want to be a part of that ride for them. My name's Kendall Benz, and I really want to help kids. I've always wanted to help kids, and I'm so passionate about being a school counselor and helping them even more.